The most songs.
The most moves.
The most carb loading.
For the fans!
How are we?
Good.
Good? Long day?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I just want to start with, and I'm sure a lot of people have been asking, just kind of the journey of going into this movie and being like, you know, I think people are, did it always feel big, or was there a moment you guys were like, wow, this is beyond anything we could ever imagine?
The movie or just the reaction of the movie?
I guess all of it.
All of it? I mean, it felt really big when we were working through it. It was a lot of different things that needed to come together in order to be able to pull it off. And we kept saying that. It's like, can we pull this off? Like, it was a lot of, you know, just the songs and the animation and the choreography, and they're just and then the story and then the comedy. There's so many things had to kind of come together for every scene to work, and so it was a huge undertaking, and you know, we started to kind of solve things like piece by piece, and you know, we learned how to like tackle everything, and figure out how to even go about the music scenes as we were making it, and we kind of figured it out, you know, and I think we pulled it off.
I'd say so. Agreed?
Yeah, I remember doing the final mix on the Sony lot, and like seeing it on a giant screen with this music turned up so loud and all the finished lighting and animation. And I just remember hanging out with the crew who came to that, and everyone was kind of just vibrating.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, this is not a normal, I mean, you always feel proud of what you've made, but like there's this sort of euphoria that we all felt. I'm like, I don't know what it means, but it feels unique. And now I see that going to the sing-alongs, I'm like, oh, we're all feeling it now together. So
yeah,
that was awesome.
I was at the TIFF karaoke party.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. I mean, you mentioned all the pieces coming together. What would you say was the biggest challenge or kind of like biggest nut to crack when you were putting it together?
It's always story. You know, that's the thing that you spend the most time on. You start with it, and you start with the draft, and just figuring that out, and all the brain power that goes into crafting that. But that's not where it ends. With animation, you're just writing to the last possible moment until you are at the record, and the words need to be spoken by the actor. And then even then, you could kind of grab something else from another clip and swap out words. So until it's like fully animated with the dialogue that will be in the final thing, it's you're able to write and change things. So you're just constantly writing, and so it's all about story, and that's the thing that takes the most time.
What was the biggest change from, I guess, just like the initial kind of idea to the finished product? Was there a big...
Nothing big. Yeah. There were maybe like new scenes that we added just as connective tissue between like the Rumi and Gina story and then the girl story. But
we just got deeper.
Yeah,
right?
we just got
felt
deeper,
like
yeah.
The journey on the surface stayed the same, and we just kept digging, and it started to mean more in more ways and layer on top of each other.
Was there anything that surprised you in just terms of like audience reactions? Like it was funny to me just watching this with like my boyfriend, who like if I said it to him, he'd be like, no, I don't want to. And then he sits there and he goes, that was fucking awesome. Like, he was like, that was amazing. I'm like, see? It's just like, everyone loves it. Was there's something that surprised you in terms of things that people gravitated towards that maybe you didn't expect?
I mean, we love hearing about those reactions, and we're seeing a lot of the dad reactions right now that are like, wait, what are you watching? And then you know, kids are going back to school, and they're like, is it okay if I watch this by myself without my children? It's like, yes, it is. So we're loving those.
The kids kind of blew me away with the depth of understanding. I mean, I'm sure they don't understand everything, but they kind of understand everything. Like the journey of the girls, the sort of finding a way to be honest and express yourself. I think kids' inner lives are incredibly sophisticated, even if they don't have this vocabulary for it. And so I was still kind of blown away that they not only loved the music, but kind of understood what the theme of the whole thing was. So that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite fan theory that you've read?
Oh gosh, there was this one fan theory. I mean, it might have been that it was 4 a.m. and I was still on TikTok, but I got all emotional reading it.
Really?
It wasn't a fan theory. It was like a fan fiction where they were like, actually Rumi dies on Jeju.
Oh,
and the whole
that's
finale
right.
is
Yeah.
like kind of this poetic hallucination.
Oh,
and she
okay.
never, it was like her spirit showed up or something, but whoever wrote it came up with it was very moving, like even just because it was like somebody copy and pasted it into a TikTok comment. It's like this long ass paragraph, and I was like reading them like, okay, what's happening? I need to go to bed.
Yeah, I read that too. That's pretty crazy.
I
There's a few. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it because I'm like, some of them I'm like, ooh, these are some good ideas. Maybe we'll use these. But there's some ones that I find interesting, and I think it's also because like there's a lot of reuse of assets that happen, like characters and props, and a lot of fans are like making these connections, like, oh, this person is this person, or this prop is this, and it's like fun to see that, but we're like, oh, that was really just a budgetary thing, you know? It was like, oh, that's cool, yeah, we did that purposely, so those are kind of fun too.
I will admit I've done a few deep dives, and I
Nice.
think my favorite theory is the one that people have dug into, the mythological four guardians, and that there should be a fourth member
Interesting.
to kind
Oh.
of complete that. What do you think of
Interesting.
that theory, and have you?
Wow, no, I haven't heard
That
that.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look for that one.
Cool.
It's thorough and
Okay.
convincing and good. Yeah.
We've also heard that there's like 800 something fanfics
Yeah.
on what was that thing called? I forget.
Yeah, it's like the place.
yeah, it's the
everyone
place where all
goes.
and so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get through all of them, but I'm sure there's
Definitely
amazing
browse.
ideas in there. Yeah.
What is the kind of sequel status at the moment? What is confirmed? What do we think?
Unconfirmed.
Confirmed? Yeah.
Okay, but I would say likely. What unanswered question are you most wanting to explore? I think Ruby's parentage is obviously a big one. I need Junior to not be dead.
I mean, I think we'll have to see. You know, we don't want to just answer questions for the sake of answering questions. It would have to be, you know, be kind of required by the story. And so, there's a lot of demands, I think,
Yeah.
from the fans, and you know, there's other ways to kind of address those, like if you know it comes down to it. But
Yeah, I think a good 90-minute theatrical story, it's meant to capture like one of the essential moment in somebody's life, right? Like that's where you start the story, where you do, and you try to show that moment where everything changed. But what's fun about a second chapter is you can't use that exact structure anymore.
Right.
You have to go somewhere new, and the characters, whatever growth needs to happen in them, it has to be interesting enough to warrant another
second.
hour and a half. So just finding out what that is and finding that story is something that is really fun and rewarding as storytellers.
I have to wrap, but I keep going back to the beginning too, where I'm like, there's a lot of prequel potential. Too.
Yeah, those ladies, they're so
they're
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah.
I'd love to see it.